Hey guys, happy Friday. It's the weekend.
Woo, we're so happy.
I mean, we're about to just tear it up this weekend.
Yeah.
Hit the streets.
Love it.
Well, I might have to end up doing 14 shots this weekend if we sell out.
I mean, what would be different from a normal weekend?
You're right.
Except for you're
just
alone.
at home taking shots during the quarantine.
Yeah, the only difference is you're by yourself.
And I'm going to live stream it.
Yeah.
Real change this week is D's a coffee salesman.
Yeah.
That's
a lot
right.
of coffee content.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
A lot
How's
of
it
coffee
going?
content.
Got more content too.
Things
It's good.
going
I
well?
think they've sold like 70% of it, maybe. I don't know.
That's
Okay,
alarming.
good. You just got to take the Trump approach and say, you just dropped they've ever done, sold out in minutes.
I think it should sell out by tomorrow, is my hope.
Okay.
Best-selling coffee ever.
Thank you. There we go. Okay, so Dee's a coffee salesman. We were talking a little bit about, I'm curious, we're all pretty active guys. That's been tough for me.
Yeah.
I was boxing. Obviously, I can't do that anymore. Sometimes I hit the mirror and try to shadow box, and I realize I look like an idiot, and I stop. I brought home some dumbbells, a jump rope. It's just tough to keep up the momentum here.
It hasn't been tough at me at all.
You've been running.
Yeah, because it's my normal routine. I never went to a gym.
Yeah.
I never walked into a class.
Yeah,
It's actually, in fact, the fact that there's people out running is kind of nice to see. But I'll tell you a funny story. So I'm running yesterday on Sunset. And, like when you're walking, when I'm running, if I see other person running, then like one will take the leap and go on the street. There was a guy walking, and so I was like, all right, I'll just run on the grass. I'm running on the grass. I see these big tree trunks. I give everyone the wave. I like to give people the wave.
Oh, you're a wave runner.
In this environment, if you don't wave run, you're dead to me.
I'm a nodder.
I like to wave.
Wow.
That's a lot of effort.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that it was so.
It's just
do you wave
rude.
to everyone?
Like, what
or
are
do
you, Mahatma Gandhi, turning the cheek? Shut the fuck up.
Do you wave to everyone or only fellow runners?
Everyone run out. All like old people, I go out of the way. They're happy to engage. But like young people are just, most young people are so insecure pussies that they don't even have the confidence to look at someone in the eye.
That's true.
That's a problem.
true.
Most young
it's
people
true.
can't look at people. You guys are weak.
They only know
Are
how
you
to
just,
Stop.
They
are you
look at their
just
phones.
looking at Pete?
Yes, that entire sentence
looking
was
at
staring right
Yeah,
at
he
me.
said-
You're the young person.
He said, you guys are weak and stared at Pete's eyes.
Yes. Pete's actually not bad. He's actually pretty good at it. But anyways, the story gets really funny. So I go out of the way to run away from this guy. I'm running on the grass. I trip.
Yep.
Okay. I trip bad.
And fall?
And I fall, but I end up doing a somersault and get right back into the running thing. And the guy looks at me, he goes, holy shit, that was the greatest fall I've ever seen. I thought your neck was gonna break. I couldn't believe I get up, I look at my arms, I look at I had headphones on, AirPods on, and I was like, oh my God, I'm completely fine.
And the AirPods stayed on.
Stayed on.
See?
What a great product.
Great product. Everyone's worried about those things staying in.
So
I
what's
literally
funny in
ate the craziest shit I've ever ate running, but it was on the grass, full somersault into back to running position.
So
Actually, you need to
talked
find
about
security
this-
cameras
we
that were
t-
around
We
there.
talked about this a week ago, how people are willing to sacrifice their life
Yes.
to avoid contact, which is what D just
Yes.
Yeah, imagine
and
if
then you
you
die.
Imagine if you broke your arm.
Yeah.
And you were like, I had to get around this guy.
Yeah.
And then you go to the hospital and get corona.
Oh my God.
I was literally thinking the way that I'm running and if it's not a major street, just in the middle of the street, whatever, I would never do that because there's just less traffic. But people are still running stop signs. People are I see kids, little kids in their bikes biking in the middle of the street.
Yep.
We're doing all this to social distance, and like you said, I literally was like, man, I don't want to be the guy that gets rammed by a car, and that's how I go out.
Yeah, if you get run over by a car
Avoiding.
in the quarantine.
It's so likely. You want to know what because my problem with running is I started running, I started going to the reservoir, there's no traffic. I know you guys do it every day. I know it's not that big of a deal, but running on the street seems so burdensome. It seems so dangerous.
Yeah.
Because you're going through intersections and I don't know. I know that it's not a big deal. I just have to adjust.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal, but it is dangerous. And then once you run in certain neighborhoods enough, you know what lights you can run, which, it's just there's some rules. But the unfriendliness of people, old people have been pretty nice. They're all, but
Right.
young people,
Things are all at risk. You can
this-
kill them at any moment.
yeah, and
Just cough at 'em.
they're happy to like give the deuces or but a lot of these other people, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't care for them.
Pretty much doing my same route on my run. I see the exact same people every day, and I'm going at different times. I think
Yeah.
People are just out.
Yeah, people are out.
Yeah.
No one can stay home.
No, people are out big time. On my drive over here again today, it's like every day there's more. The weather's getting a little nicer.
Yeah.
People are running. It looks like the fittest city in the world.
Yeah.
You want to know what else is absolutely slammed? Erewhon.
Yeah.
Slammed. All these healthy idiots are going in there and boot my immunity booster shot. And
a lot,
Oh,
a
and
lot
is
of
there a
people.
line outside?
it's not a line that I saw just now, but it's like people, like lots of people walking in and coming out, like just popping.
So it's like a Barry's boot camp.
Yep.
So
And
you're
all these
likely-
idiots.
So I feel like supermarkets are the most dangerous place to be right now.
Yeah.
That's
At
a
this
fact.
point, that's where the most.
Because also think about you're talking. I feel like anytime you're talking to someone who's talked to a lot of other people, like you're talking to a cashier,
Yeah.
who's just breathing in your face, who's breathing everyone else's face, and like I think you're in your effort to be so healthy, you're gonna get coronavirus.
Yeah.
So good for you, idiots.
Congrats.
Anyway, I'm gonna transition to running on the streets this week. I keep forgetting where I should run, so I'll text
I mean,
you.
you just walk out. That's the
know.
best. To hop
Okay.
in the car and go run, it's just too much work.
It just reminds me of the old days when I used to be able to like go to the gym or like I now, because I'm stuck in the house, I like
The idea of going somewhere.
I like getting ready, going,
Then
arriving.
you know where you should go is the best running area in town is go to San Vicente and like Barrington, park your car and run down San Vicente to Ocean Boulevard and back. That's unbelievable. You can run on the grass, so you don't have to run on cement.
Not hilly? Seems hilly.
It's a little inclined, but on the way back, it's fine.
Okay. All right.
That's the best run in town.
Okay, well, you guys want to talk about what's going on in the world?
Sure.
It's bleak.
Yeah.
Bleak Mill.
Yeah.
Memphis Bleak over here. I want to say congratulations to all 5 of us.
Okay.
Because right now the numbers are against us. And what I mean when I say that is not number of infections, not number of deaths. I'm talking about having a job.
Yep.
So we're lucky. We all have a place to show up to for now. We have an office. We have a job. 10 million Americans have filed for unemployment.
So 6.6 million people filed last week on the jobless number that came out Thursday of this week. I was reading all the predictions. Most people had predictions at somewhere around like 3.5, 3.8, and then one like extreme person said 5 million.
For the week.
Yeah, and I think we said, I said last week, like, oh, it's going to be over 5 million. And I think, I felt comfortable that it was going to be above that number. It came way higher, 6.6 million. That was last week. This week is worse. So,
I mean, it's been 2 weeks.
But I got great news for you guys. Stock market's up again.
thank you.
Oh, well, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Who cares? 10 million people a week just keep getting fired.
The economy is booming.
It's literally booming. Stock market is unstoppable. It doesn't even make sense. It's obviously clearly it's just hedge funds just trading, and it has nothing to do with fundamentals of the economics. So you just have to put the stock market aside and look at what's really going on. So 10 million people are unemployed in the last 2 weeks. But like we talked on the last episode, worst case scenario that Goldman Sachs predicted is 15% unemployment. That's 47 million people. So you got a ways to go.
Yeah.
I mean, you should probably see 5 million jobs, 5 million plus a week for the 2 months.
Yeah.
Easily. I mean, we're 2 weeks in. Companies, I think the first wave of people that are getting laid off are the hourly wage guys.
Well,
And then the second wave is going to be the white collar.
yeah.
So first wave is what we're seeing now. Retail cashier and waiters and anyone who works at a store.
I think like the hospitality industry,
Yeah.
retail were the first wave.
Yeah. And then the second wave is going to be the bankers, lawyers, and
Yeah.
those types. So it's inevitable that
Affects
Goldman,
everybody.
JP Morgan, everyone's going to have to, you're underwriting fewer loans. Like it just trickles down. Like,
Yeah, banks, literally every single industry is going to be dramatically impacted, and except for like like an Amazon or a Walmart who
Yeah.
are just on a hiring binge. Everyone else is going to see dramatic impacts in their business. And so a lot of the other thing I think that's also what people don't understand is that the first 30 days, all these big companies said, we are committed to pay everyone's salary through April 30th. They all came out and said that, a lot of big companies. April 30th might come around and they'll be like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed. We're not going to continue to pay these people's salaries.
Yeah.
And so that's where the stimulus is getting tricky. I don't know if, today's essentially Friday. There's no payroll protection program loan docs out to anybody yet.
Correct.
So that's one more week that has been wasted in getting docs out. Every week that this takes to get information out to entrepreneurs and to small business owners is devastating for the job market. They need to figure out a way to get liquidity to small businesses immediately, because giving $1,200 to, I agreed to give that check to the people who lost their job. That's fine. The first line of defense is making sure that everyone can keep paying their staff, because that's way more valuable than $1,200 one time to somebody.
Yeah.
They're already working on the next stimulus package. Who knows when that's going to come or what that entails, but they got to get businesses money fast.
Right. So the first wave was 2 trillion, and almost like every smart person I see on Twitter is saying we're going to need 8 to 10 trillion.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I can't imagine. I mean, what absolutely blows my mind is all these numbers. And then the model that Fauci's showing is showing like 200,000 deaths.
And we're under
And we're-
5,000 as of yesterday. We're probably over now.
And
So
we're
what does that
2
mean?
weeks in. This is 2.5 weeks.
So that number is just staggering, because every day we're seeing this press conference, the 100 to 240,000 deaths, right? First of all, it's a big gap,
Yeah.
That's a
right?
big
2.5x
Yep.
your low bound, right? So does that mean everyone in the hospital is being underwritten as dead already, or there's just going to be that many new people that, despite lockdowns, are just going to catch this and die?
Well, I bet you.
Is it like Florida? We're just assuming 50K is coming from Florida
Yeah,
because they just locked down.
I'll give you an example. Florida was going to be my loser of the week, but let's just talk about it right now. I'll think of somebody else.
There's plenty.
There's
I could
so
give you
many.
a few.
Florida.
There's only one winner.
Florida governor is considering letting religious organizations meet in their homes in smaller groups. Okay?
Great.
So that might be 10 people, 20 people. So let's get 20 religious people at a time dead. Boom. You're
Right.
religious, 20 people in a home. I mean, it's literally asinine the way some of these... if you're going to actually make an effort to flatten the curve, you can't allow anything. And in a state like Florida is a complete disaster, complete joke.
Yep.
Everything from spring break to how late Disney World was still open.
Yep.
Like it's a disaster. The place is, it's scary. So what happens in a place like Florida, which has an elderly population, I bet you they're like, how many elderly people are severely ill in the state? This number. You assume of that, 15% are going to immediately die because of corona.
Right.
All you're doing is accelerating death. And that's probably how that number is coming. And it may not be, it has to be directly related to corona, or if it's the influx of people at hospitals that other people, like we have I have someone that we work with that's mom is dealing with this, and just telling the level of medical care they're getting, like her doctor has COVID. So can't fucking care for her.
Right.
Yeah.
So she's talking to a nurse who God knows which information she's giving.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah, I think that like and there are still states that aren't locked down.
yeah.
And this religious thing pisses me off so much, and it ties back to our old Joel Osteen conversation, all that stuff. Like, so many of these people are fucking scammers.
Yeah.
Right.
And the shit that they're saying, and the fact that they're saying, like, you won't get it here, God won't let you get it here.
Yeah.
Like, those people should be arrested.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, you're literally putting people's lives at risk, and under the veil of religion and God, which is just, it's a weapon that you're using now.
Yep.
And so I think that's going to happen. And then I think that all these like smaller, especially like low income areas, especially areas where there's a lot of diabetes and disease and stuff like that. And then the hospitals get overloaded and all the nurses and doctors get it. Like, I don't know. I just think that when you really look at it that way, we've only seen the beginning. They're saying that the peak for New York isn't even for 2 more weeks.
Right.
And New York is like as bad as it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like the big thing that they're misleading us, or not misleading us, just the absence of where's the math? How do you get to 100 to 240,000?
Yeah.
I feel like if they explained that, people would take this more seriously, A.
Yeah.
Because be like, you do the math, like, hey guys, we're only at 5,000. We're about to 20 to 50x this.
Yeah.
Tell us how do we get there?
Well, they're already, we're already at 1,000 deaths a day now.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Which we're breaking records.
Yeah, CNN's making it clear.
I mean, America has always been an achiever.
we're always
And
been
if we
number
can't
one.
go to the Olympics, we'll win this shit.
Yeah.
You know
How
what I
many
mean?
people dead? Gold medal, 200,000. Congratulations.
Yeah.
How is the White House, how are those guys not dying? They're not socially distanced. They're a bunch of old dudes that just stand next to each other at
Yeah.
a press conference indoors. I know there were a few in the Rose Garden,
Yep.
but the last few have been indoors.
Maybe they just
What's
soon
going
as they,
on there?
Maybe as soon as they get in there, it's like ventilators and they're just pumping them with oxygen and they're
Yeah.
Is there a vaccine in the White House? Because they're doing everything that they're telling us not to do daily.
I agree. The way that it sounds, though, that's coming. You know? I'm shocked it hasn't happened yet. I don't know how that's happening.
Right.
But if we're talking about 200,000 deaths and we're talking about we're not even close to a peak and anything like that, then that has to be coming.
yeah.
Like one of these guys, freaking Mitch McConnell, is going to check out. And you're going to be like, whoa, shit is real. And then all of a sudden, like the press conference is going to be Trump alone.
I just talked to a buddy of mine that has it, who's like 26 years old, extremely healthy. And he's like, I have not moved for 6 days, sleeping 14 hours a day. He's like, I can't.
Still a fever?
Yeah. And 6 days, he's not been able to function at all.
Yeah.
He's like, I mean, this is as healthy as a person I know. And for that person to feel like this
Yeah.
just is
Scary.
scary.
Okay. Speaking of Florida, by the way, Florida governor is saying that he thinks the coronavirus started circulating at D and Anand's favorite event.
Super Bowl. and you know what's funny? I remember talking about it because I was joking around with people that I hope I don't have to shake anyone's. Like everyone was going to Super Bowl is such like, hey, what's
Yeah.
up?
Yeah.
Type of environment where you have to shake hands. And I remember talking to our friend Omar about it. And he's like, man, whatever. He's like, if Super Bowl has it, I'm going to get it. I shake like 10,000 hands.
That's true.
Yeah.
Omar is definitely ground zero.
Is Omar clear he doesn't have it, right?
He doesn't have it.
He
He's
seems
fine.
pretty healthy.
Yeah. But it's just, Florida's really pissing me off because of the nature of the state, because it's such a transient state, and the fact that they've acted the slowest. And if you look at, someone took like a data mapping tool and looked at all the cell phones that were in Clearwater Beach, Florida, and where they all went to all the states.
Yes.
It's literally ravishing the Midwest.
It's terrible.
The South and the Midwest is going to get clobbered by Corona. And
I mean, if that's real, if that's an accurate, because it just seems too crazy to be true, Florida fucked everyone.
well, think about it. Where are people going from Clearwater Beach, Florida? Those are the people from Ohio and
I know.
Louisiana. And
Are you
out
talking
there-
about the spring breakers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like those spring breakers are coming from those big Midwest colleges, and they go to Florida. And Clearwater Beach is probably like a hot spot for spring break. And so it's not surprising that all those kids end up on the beach. I mean, it looked like it was 50,000 kids on that beach.
Yeah.
And 50,000 kids go reach out to 10 million population. And this thing being so contagious, I mean, it's just,
I just
Florida's a
cannot
disaster.
believe that they let that happen. The leadership that let that happen, let everyone make fun of them and continued to let it happen. It's just like people, I don't know, man. I wish that there was, I know that there never really will be, but like, I wish there was punishment for this. It's, I don't know. It's really bad.
The biggest ball drop I think LA had was the marathon.
yeah.
I feel
Remember
like
I was saying that was
we joked about it back then because it wasn't as serious.
Yeah.
But man, I bet cases would be dramatically lower in Los Angeles if that event was canceled.
That is literally the biggest. I remember saying, like, think about people are handing you cups of water.
And that's a droplet.
Droplet.
The marathon is the epitome of droplets.
There's droplets everywhere.
This is when, like, politicians were too proud to, like, our city stands strong.
Yeah.
Like, our mayor's stupid too. He fucked up.
Yeah, marathon was the biggest ball drop. I have to imagine we would be a fraction of what we are
And
today.
what's interesting enough, right before that, a few weeks before LA Marathon, Tokyo Marathon was canceled to the public.
Right, you're right.
And only 200 elite runners did it. And no one was allowed to watch it either.
Imagine if the NBA didn't cancel. I think we'd be at 1 million deaths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the NBA was the one thing that saved us from being...
And Tom
in
Hanks.
college basketball.
Literally, the
But
NBA,
NBA forced everyone's hands.
Well, right.
the NBA and Tom
But I
Hanks,
think-
it was that day when
Yeah.
shit went from, oh, it's the flu, to like, fuck.
Everybody shifted their mindset.
Yeah, even I did. I was flu
Fuck,
guy
I
until
know.
that day, and I was like, ooh, this is bad.
It's like, this ain't shit.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
it's what we've been saying for months. Follow the money. When companies are willing to sacrifice billions of dollars,
Yeah.
you know it's real.
Yep.
And I'll just say mine too, because my loser of the week was Louisiana and Mardi Gras, because they went ahead with Mardi Gras, and now they're like on the list of top whatever 3
Yeah.
worst cities.
Louisiana has, like, I think the highest diabetes percentage, highest obesity. Louisiana might be gone.
Yeah,
Gone.
yeah, it's true. I mean,
The whole state might be wiped off. Alabama, these states are
Might as
gone.
well.
Like, the South is fucked. These are the most unhealthy people in America.
Those big
with the
cowboy
least,
veins aren't going to save you from
No.
this.
with
I don't
the
think it's good on
least
this one.
medical premium medical care. It's a
Right.
joke.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. It looks like New Jersey is, so this is really, really, really bad. And what else is funny is when you look at these graphs, like right now, the rest of the country is sort of at this very slow, low level incline. But like New York, New Jersey, a couple key places are really like skyrocketing. New Jersey looks like they're taking things a little bit more serious now, maybe too little too late, but 10 people were charged with violating the social distancing order because they went to an engagement party. So fuck you guys.
Yeah, I
Take
mean,
these
they're doing
tickets.
engagement parties, they're doing weddings, and then, like, obviously idiots are taking pictures and posting it. So,
Yep.
Jesus.
Yep.
You might
mean,
as well put yourself in the handcuffs.
yes, I mean,
Take
like,
the ticket
When do you
yourself.
think it would be socially accepted to have a wedding again? It's like
Summer
weddings are
21.
like-
Spring of 21, yeah.
summer 20.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't get. Yeah.
it would be socially unacceptable for a wedding through 2020. That's
I
staggering.
saw four guys in Beverly Hills playing, like, hand kind of like a handball with 4 people or whatever. Spike ball. I was disgusted.
No, you should have literally ran them over.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, what are you're playing with your hand. One guy was wearing gloves, the other 3 weren't. I'm like, it's just stupid.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's wild. So there's some couples that were probably on the brink of getting proposed to.
Yeah. Push
There
it
are some
off.
people who went from a pending wedding to a breakup.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you could do, if you want to do a small ceremony on IG Live, great, do it. You get a minister.
I mean, I think in 2021,
Till death do you part.
I'm ministering a wedding in August.
You are?
Yeah.
you just
But
call
it
it
sounds like not
ministering,
anymore.
so it's not going to go well.
Father.
Yeah, did you already fill out your little
Father
application?
The Life Church.
I
Life
wanna
Church is
hear-
happening.
Wild. 2020, no weddings.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
I mean, I believe it. It's just crazy.
I want to see a book in 2021 of the wildest stories, good and bad, about Corona.
No, it's going to be like the equivalent of World War II, where there was so many fascinating events and stories. Like, think about it. Every year, there's like 5 more World War II movies and documentaries and stories because it affected the whole world. And then we discover more and more information. Think about it. We're only looking at Corona through the lens of our little bubble. We don't know what's happening in Florida. We don't know what's happening in New York or Amsterdam or London or India or China. There's going to be 5 million stories of what happened. Like, can you imagine like hospital stories just from...
Yeah, and, I mean, make no mistake about it. This is a world war. It's
Yeah.
just not with bullets and bombs.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's having the exact same effect of any war. We're locked down. people are dying. People are increasingly dying.
It's worse than a war.
Right.
In a normal war, restaurants would be open.
That's true.
We get a bite to eat. Have a cocktail.
And at least we'd be united. Like we'd be like, America, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Right now we're like, yo, get away from me, bro.
Right.
Yeah. This is the most like the sight of another human being is disgusting.
It's literally like everyone is terribly racist against every other person but themselves.
Now
That's
you know what it feels
like
like to be a black guy.
Yeah, that's what, you know.
This is rough.
Yes. When when I'm running away from old rich white people, I'm just like, hey, you know what? I feel good about it.
Yeah. You deserve it. Yeah, I agree. You want to know who I'm really worried about? Like, really worried about? I mean, I would say I'm most worried about elderly people and people with really bad health conditions. But right after them on the list is influencers.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like 2019 was like, influencer was probably the most famous, most wanted job, career path.
Yeah, it was peak.
It was paying very, very well. You had YouTubers boxing each other and just breaking pay-per-view numbers. I mean, being an influencer was a huge, huge business. I just wonder how they're coping. Like, what do you do?
Probably wiping their eyes with money.
Not anymore, bro.
No.
You know how much rent costs?
Influencers are paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, they were already
paycheck, except for like
the
5
big ones.
There's literally like David
Yes.
Dobrik,
Right.
whatever, 4 others.
Ryan's
And it's
reviews.
just-
Ryan's reviews
Ryan's
and frickin'
business is not going down.
No.
His business is probably,
probably-
through the fucking roof.
Oh, through the roof. Everyone else was paycheck to paycheck, finding a Lamborghini to pose next to.
Yeah.
It wasn't all sweet.
I
Like,
think influencers and nightlife people are hurt the most
Yeah.
because like that's such a big business. Both of those are huge businesses that have abruptly stopped, and a lot of people in those lifestyles are living check to check. So it is going to be devastating to see how, one, they cope with it, two, when does it actually come back? Because everyone I speak to is like aggressively cutting marketing. And if they are spending, it's like direct response marketing. It might be like Facebook ads they're still doing, or like an Amazon sponsored product. Like they're being very deliberate and very specific on the type of advertising. So brand marketing as a whole, people are taking a cautious approach. Unless your business is just on fire, then you're like going like Taco Bell. I see advertising aggressively on television. But other than that, like, the influencer market with all these people, because I read this article in Bloomberg about how influencers are dealing with it. They're all talking about how their March and their April have been canceled. I don't think people realize, no, May, June, July, August are canceled too.
Yep.
It's not going to come back in May, because what's going to happen is, even if there's some sense of reopening, the first thing everyone's going to be worried about is just their basic things to keep their business alive.
Yep.
So influencer marketing or brand marketing become like an afterthought when you're playing survival.
Yep.
So it's just, people need to be very, very aware of like how it's all going to play out. Because the other thing is everyone now also, the other challenge is everyone's giving away all of their content for free on IG Live and on Instagram. So like, even if you're in the health and wellness space, like you're just doing, everything's free. Rumble is free. This guy is free. That guy is free. Like DJs are giving, like those DJ battles and producer battles, those are the most amazing content, and they're free.
Yeah.
Like no pay, no subscription, no nothing.
Yeah, and I think the reality is people, this is specifically for young people, we've already been through a crisis, so we know things are permanently changing.
Mm-hmm.
So the ability to adapt is going to be so important. Our businesses are going to permanently change. Like that concept of a 9 to 6 work day is gone.
Yep.
Like who would have thought that it would happen overnight? It was trending that way. This just accelerated it.
Yeah.
And I also got to say, like, I do think there is a positive side of this influencer story where some people are adjusting really well. And when this does start to die down, there's people that will have careers that didn't before, or at least on social media. Like, I would say D Nice is probably going to have an incredible 2021.
Yep.
Oh, I heard he already has deals with Amazon.
Yep.
Like
I'm
big
sure.
time
I mean-
corporations. Michelle Obama already co-signed him.
Yeah.
for
He
the
just
building.
launched himself into a whole nother world. Tory Lanez, who, you know, has a lot of fans, a lot of people, like, he's been doing this like quarantine radio thing on IG Live. And the other day, Drake called in and he claimed to have broken the live record and beat Taylor Swift. And it's hilariously funny. He'll have strippers call in. He does the wildest shit. And like, you know, Tory Lanez was already sizable, but I think this is going to take him into another thing. Like there are some people, the minority, that are going to use this right. And when this does start to alleviate and there is money to spend, these people are going to be in a really good situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's other people that are travel bloggers. They're like, oh, you know, my March is canceled, but April I'm planning on going to Bali, and it's going to be really nice. I'm going to get some brand deals, and those people are fucked.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to a friend who talked to a baseball owner that thinks baseball's starting in July 1.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here, man.
No chance.
Yeah. This is the other thing I wanted to talk about, because I think we talked about it in text message a little bit, is, you know, I think like how I just named like Sarah, the travel vlogger, right? That goes to Bali, shows her butt, and gets a sponsorship by T-Tox. There's a chance that this could permanently wipe out or take down some of that mindless BS content.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually like a plus here. Like I think that who's winning right now are people that are offering like objectively good content with no resources.
Yeah.
They're really talented at making content and getting people together.
Is the key word.
Yeah, there's real value that they're offering. Like butt pics, I'm guessing, are at an all-time low. I would think.
Butt pics?
Yeah,
But
like
I don't-
like I would say the like travel, here's my bikini shots over and over and over. I just don't think, I think people are
I'm not
more
getting sick of them.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
that category I think is the wrong one to be picking on.
Yeah.
That
You can't-
category doesn't get affected
but-
ever.
Those, yeah.
Yeah.
I think World War III could happen, and it would still.
Okay, sure.
I
let
think
me
the
let me-
Lamborghini in front of that, you know,
Yeah.
like that picture of like I have jewelry and I have watches and I have this like in front of my fancy items I own.
Right.
That those people,
Gone.
men or women, that is looks very distasteful right now.
So let me just say, like, just to clarify, like, not horny dudes, because dudes are always going to be horny, and when they're
Yeah.
stuck at home, those numbers are through the roof.
Jerking off is at an all-time high.
Only
I mean-
OnlyFans has seen a skyrocket.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I guess what I'm saying is like the guy version is your fake Lambo and your blah, 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 your bullshit content. Girls, I'm just talking about like the mindless, girly, like I'm just hot for the sake of being hot content. Like I just feel like people are filling more of that space with either like trying to educate themselves on Corona or doing things that will like genuinely pick them up or give them, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just how it feels. And it feels like, I mean, we even talked about like, could the Kardashian sort of world take a hit?
Yeah.
Like, are people just less hungry? Like, when things are good and everyone's rich and whatever, you can just stare at asses all day long.
Yeah.
And just, oh my God, listen to Kim arguing with Courtney. It's so crazy how they argue.
Yeah.
Right now, everyone's like, yo, my grandma's dying.
Yeah.
And it's scary to even go outside.
It's
Like,
funny you say that. Kardashians have been very quiet in this whole thing. You haven't heard from Jenners or Kardashians.
Kim just did
Yeah.
an interview
With,
on how they're surviving Corona.
but it's on E or something, right? It's not. It's,
No, I think it was in news source.
Okay, but it's.
I'll
I'm saying
find
it's
it.
probably for pay. It's not on
Yeah,
IG
right.
Live, just
No,
doing
no,
it
no.
for the sake of doing it, right?
Right.
So
It's all that.
So then people don't. As soon as it's through a source like that, it's not real.
Right,
Like
of course.
I was, you know, I follow all like the gossip sites on Twitter, and I'm just like, how Kristen Bell felt like she wasn't pretty when she got to Hollywood. Like, who's clicking on that link right now?
Yeah.
Like, fuck off. No one wants to hear about anyone's story like that.
Literally.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
and
That's
I-
like the ass pick of journalism, is I guess what I'm saying.
And I also think it's going to be a while till luxury comes back. And I think there's going to be this movement towards minimalism. And not that rich people are still not going to be rich when we're out of this in 2 months. But like I get the general sense from even just random interviews of rich people I've heard on podcasts. They're like, this has forced me to focus on what's important.
Yep.
And it's like a mindset shift. And I think that lasts for a while. I'm not saying luxury won't come back, but the next 12 months, I don't think people are going to make unnecessary purchases. And it's nothing to do financially.
Yep.
I think they're just going to be like, why was I doing that? I've heard that comment a lot from people. Like, why did I think that was important to like spend X on this?
And I also think that just what's coming financially, how to plan, what's going on with Corona, what are the real risks, all of that content is taking up real market share in just people's time.
Yeah.
And so that has to replace something. And I think it's replacing a lot of the mindless just bullshit that you can do when times are good.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people are just on Pornhub.
Yes.
So that's also doing well.
I'm sure.
Traffic's got to be through the roof.
Through the roof.
I've heard there's Corona themed porn on Pornhub. Is that?
Yes.
Like
There
stay
is
wearing
masks.
masks.
Stay home hub. Oh, you're talking about the actual theme?
Yeah.
There's
You
got to
talking
be
about theme?
mask porn.
Oh yeah, that's got to be so.
And
in there
95
now.
porn.
I actually haven't seen it because I don't really go to those sites, but I'm sure.
This is only because your mom listens.
I'm not.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Let me tell you one other thing that annoys me. I just want to get your guys' opinion. All of the people that are saying, you know what's really happening right now, right? You know what's really going on. Open your eyes. We are being coerced into a police state, and they are able to control our every move. Don't be a sheep.
Yeah.
So they're saying, go get Corona. Go
Hey,
outside-
fuckface. Why don't you go get Corona and you tell us how it went?
Go get intubated.
Yeah.
So
Shove
all
a
the rights
tube down
groups are warning people about all the surveillance that's going to probably need to be required to actually track where we're all going and properly police this thing. I've said this for years. Put a chip in me, track me whatever I do. I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, chip me up, man.
I don't care. Like I just don't want to wait in any line in an airport.
Yep.
I don't want to. You know what? I don't want to wait in any lines. If you have a chip in you, you should be. That's one of your gifts.
Yeah. Can I also say something? All the people that are so worried about being surveilled are the people that are doing
On TikTok.
absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And like no one gives a fuck
Yeah.
that you're in your basement still. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always them. It's never people that are like, you know,
Just
out
run the mill,
moving and
regular-
shaking and like, oh, this could really be valuable information. It's always the people that are like, I'm not going to let you see how long I've played World of Warcraft today.
Right. I mean, after every crisis, it's inevitable we give up civil liberties. We did it after 9/11.
which led to all the Edward Snowden thing. Because what happens is like the government gets little.
Yeah, because the problem is the powers that actually control the surveillance state, and initially it's marketed as to save us, but they don't sunset those protections.
Yeah.
So the only reason Korea and Singapore have worked is because they've tracked everyone on their phones and who's sick, who's not sick. And the only way we're going to have that kind of effectiveness if we use the big cell phone companies and to track all of us. Yeah. That's the only way I see out. And we're not going to do it.
No.
And even if we were to do it, the problem why people get suspicious is we won't have a sunset. Like once the vaccine is, we're going to stop.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have politicians be like, oh, I kind of like knowing where everyone is.
And look, to be honest with you, I see it the same way I saw like retail. See what's happening with retail, what's happening with Amazon. It was happening anyway. This is probably going to accelerate some of those things. And I guess in some way that's unfortunate. I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah.
And it was happening anyway. And these same people are using an iPhone. They're using Instagram. They're using Facebook. They're using Alexa. So you don't want to give up any of your shit to not be surveilled. You just want to sit and complain that, oh, they're going to get you. They were getting you anyway, dude.
Yeah.
They
Right.
know everything you're doing. And guess
Like-
what? You're not interesting.
Amazon, Google, Facebook, Apple already have all of our data.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just give it to the government, right?
Yeah,
What else do you need, man? Who cares? Take my shit. And I want everyone on their Instagram, just like everyone's fighting so hard to get a verified badge, I want a badge that says you have Corona.
Amen.
I want a little green
Scarlet letter.
mask and just say, you know what? Just so you know, your buddy's got it. So
Okay.
it's on blast.
Okay.
And I bet influencers would be fighting to get it. Like, yo, I need
Yo, when
that.
did you get that Corona
Need
badge?
that green check mark. Okay, what about this? It's coming out now more that, and this is kind of, I don't know, frustrating no shit moment of the week, but it's now coming out more due to reporting and stuff that China truly did hide the extent of their outbreak. And, you know, to a degree, like I get it. This thing's a virus. It's going to travel anyway. We're probably, it's going to be big anyway. But where it really hurt us big time was preparation.
Yeah.
And not understanding what we needed to truly be prepared for. And I think that's another thing that I wish there was some severe punishment, not counting on that there will be, but it's really reckless. I mean, it really, if you could somehow tally up the death toll by them concealing information, it'll probably end up being, in the hundreds of thousands of people globally, if these numbers are right.
Yeah, I mean that's
More, right? If we're 1 to 240,000.
Because also from what I'm reading, it's not necessarily that like with modern technology, we can save a shit ton of lives. The reason people are dying is because hospitals get overran, people don't get treated fast enough, and you have problems.
Yeah.
Like you could save probably half of those lives if we just had enough stuff and enough preparation.
Absolutely.
And if you've noticed, Trump has stopped using the China virus and Kung Flu.
Yeah.
So the assumption is Mr. Xi made the call, said, you want your medical supplies, you want your medicine still coming, clean up your act.
Yeah.
It worked.
They have too much power.
He instantly put a stop to it, and the only way you're doing that is because someone really punked you.
Yeah.
There's no way his advisor said like, hey,
he's
this
not
isn't
listening.
good.
It's Xi saying, we will crater your country even further.
Yep.
Yeah. He's like, okay.
Okay, it is the COVID-19. So yeah, I don't. It looks like they're looking into it more. Is what's happening. There was like an Interpol report or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what information. Chinese officials obviously are denying everything. It's just the same issue. Italy's death toll seems to be far higher as well. That's more probably due to incompetence than it is to.
They don't even have internet when times were good.
Yeah, so it's like
you can't even use your cell phone in Italy.
Yeah, so I think Italy is unfortunately
if you need either of those things, we're good.
They just lack of resources. Italy's just lack of resources. They can't. This is just way beyond.
Yeah, the data people on Twitter that have been tracking this since January had the assumption that China was always 10x. That was layered into their assumptions on how it was going to spread.
I mean, when you look at these reports, I don't trust anything, but on the internet, that's just random facts. But if you look at these, the numbers of urns and all that shit, it looks like the death toll was insane.
Yeah.
They were just cremating people, not report. It looks crazy what might have happened.
Yeah, because they don't value life.
Yeah. They don't.
So, I mean,
it's wild.
It's a global power play, and China's just kicking everyone's ass.
Yeah, and further to the actions, they canceled all the theaters, and then the NBA version in China, the Chinese Basketball League, was supposed to start last week. They canceled that.
So that just tells you it's nowhere near.
It's not over. Not even close.
And I'm really curious to see what happens in 3-6 months with all the trade negotiations, because this has just thrown a wrench into everything.
And if you just think about it kind of further out, people that have won is Korea. It's because it's a homogenous place. They don't rely on tourism.
Yeah.
They don't really care to leave or go.
Well, they're not very welcoming to the outside population.
Yeah. And are countries just going to veer towards that?
I mean, you have to. Here's the crazy thing to think about timeline-wise. If China was as strict as China was, China hid everything, China just burned people up, whatever they did, and they still, let's say it started in December there, so 4 or 5 months later, they still are not able to really open movie theaters and stuff. That means that this lasts 2 years in America.
Right. Because our airports are still open.
Yes, and we're still, there's still states not on lockdown. There's still Florida gatherings. There's still engagement parties. It just means that this thing actually lingers way longer than what we're hoping.
Right.
And a re-outbreak is a huge possibility. And that means that we are on some sort of lockdown for 2 years, in my mind, because we're not going to do what they did.
Yeah, and I think we should just all be prepped for on and off shutdowns. We're going to open up in June. It looks like it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
We're going to force it.
Yep.
Lockdown August.
Yep.
My thing is I think my prediction is slowly open in the summer. I think schools go back in September. I think we do see some sort of flattening of all the infections. And then in the holidays, complete shutdown again for two months.
Yeah.
I think December to February.
Do you think we get shut down again?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just
complete
don't see
severity
unless a
or worse?
vaccine.
Yeah, because I think it comes back
This or
with
worse,
a
definitely.
vengeance.
At least this.
Right.
I just don't see. And what we're not going to do is in the downtimes, we're not going to build more hospitals. We're not going to have more hospital beds. We're not going to do the things that could actually prevent something in the future. We're just going to go back to normal, underfund the healthcare system.
Yep.
And the other thing is hospitals are in a mega cash crunch because they're not doing the elective surgeries where they make all their money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of I saw, I think it was it's a Blackstone or one of those who's a big investor in a hospital, just like, fuck it, let it go bankrupt. We're not going to finance it.
Right. And now insurance companies are waiving co-pays on COVID patients. They're not letting, which is the right thing to do, but there's a trickle effect because we don't bail out people the right way.
Yeah. Wild. Okay, we're going to keep the theme going. You want to know what else pisses me off? We can't get clear guidance on whether wearing a mask helps or not. And this is the reason why it pisses me off, because they're actually telling people, if you're not sick, don't wear a mask. Or they were telling people that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're panicking because healthcare workers need it. Now, I understand that healthcare workers are exposed often, but if this many people have it, that would mean that you're potentially exposed at Ralph's and at the grocery store and all that stuff. So does anyone know the clear guidance of?
Yeah. So, the city of LA came out and said that we really want people to wear some sort of face protection when out and about in town. So I think that's going to be a real part of life. Where they are concerned is they don't want people wearing N95s because that means a hospital or a first responder doesn't get it. And so that's the big differentiation. The other big challenge is there's a replica mask called KN95. So N95 can only be manufactured and distributed by 3M. But there's people that have hoarded it and are reselling it, and that's part of it. The KN95 is literally like a knockoff of it. And for whatever reason, people are not accepting it as good as the N95. Because N95, 3M has even come out and says it's pretty equal to our mask. So if you can use it, use it. But this KN95, because I'm in conversations with people who are trying to buy a mask for hospitals, say, no, we can only do N95. It's the same fucking thing. Just get that mask to people. Like, why are we being so it's like, there can be a generic version of everything. And so for whatever reason, that KN95 is out in the market. People are selling it out of China. I've seen. So for whatever reason, if you can wear a mask to protect and give you comfort, I say wear a mask. I don't like the idea of these research, or fuck your research. I think everyone should just wear a mask, call it a day.
Yeah, because here's what else seems to be the undeniable fact is, this is from the World Health Organization, is if you have it and don't know, and you let out a little cough or a little sneeze, the mask blocks that.
Yep.
And so even for that sake, wear the shit. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's crazy is I was told by someone who I trust very much. He spoke with someone that said the CDC put out the information that the masks don't work so they don't run out of masks.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Like, how incompetent are we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is what else is crazy is we can't get, from the president or Fauci or whoever's job it is, just clear, look, KN95 is the same thing. Don't wear N95s. Blah, blah, blah. This will work for this. This will work for that. Here's what you guys should be doing. No one's, like you said, Anand, they're projecting this 100,000, 200,000 death toll number, but not telling us how to prevent it. And I would guess those are all ways, along with social distancing. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I mean, am I fucking crazy here?
I don't know. I mean, it's in hindsight, this seemed like it was all avoidable and it was staring us in the face and we didn't do anything about it. We just pretended it wouldn't come here.
Yep.
And now we can't go eat at a restaurant.
Yeah, that's pretty much the good. You know what? That should have been the episode. Okay. Also, some sports news. Wimbledon has been canceled for the first time since World War II. So back to your World War II reference.
Yeah.
We're breaking records here, guys.
We're breaking records, man.
Nothing really to talk about. There's just more things that are going to continue to get canceled. Just keep an eye on.
It's like at this point, if you have anything that's kind of global stage, at least till September, October, just cancel it.
Yeah.
It's probably an insurance scheme, right? They don't want to cancel too early because then they have to pay and blah, blah,
I'm sure
blah.
that's
There's got to
the
be
reason.
some financial.
But just assume it's all canceled.
Yeah.
Like Coachella October.
No
cancel.
way.
Cancel.
I know, man.
I mean, Coachella may be canceled.
Forever.
Who wants to be around 100,000 people?
The kids.
I'll do it.
Yeah, kids don't care.
I guess
would
we'll
not.
have a
No, me-
vaccine by then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Young people
Yeah.
are going to be there.
Yeah, I do think there is a point when,
I mean, if I had the vaccine, I'd be out in these streets.
Oh, yeah.
or even if I had it, Like, there's a part of me that's jealous of people who have had it and fully recovered.
And we don't know about reinfections, right? I've heard everyone say a different thing.
So the most common from really well informed people is 100% you build antibodies, and that's why, from even Bill Gates, one of the greatest potential things is using the plasma from recovered people to treat like dying people,
right?
Because you could give them your antibodies.
If I knew I had antibodies, I'd be in Capri.
Oh my God!
I'd be in Florence.
I'd be revolving around the world every week.
Yeah. I'd go to China. I think the biggest opportunity on earth is going to China, sitting down with factories, and be like, all right, who's fucked the most? I'm gonna go work with them. Because there's a massive opportunity. Like, if you have already gotten corona, you should get your ass on a plane to Guangzhou and figure some shit out.
Yeah.
It is a gold mine right now.
Yeah, you could. Oh gosh,
I would love to have corona and just gone to Guangzhou.
Damn.
I mean, we know some people who had it not too severely, where there's not like long-term effects.
And even I've know someone severely had it, and he's fine now.
Yeah, that'd be a great place
Like a
to
10-day
be.
hospital visit, he's completely
He
fine.
should go to China. They can make so much money.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, we should actually source recovered people, train them how to talk to these vendors,
Yeah,
and
send
send
them to China.
them on our behalf.
Yeah, they should have no fear of going.
Yeah.
No. And you can be a hero. If good old Bill figures this shit out, you can donate some of your freaking plasma, save a few grannies.
I mean, if you had corona and let's say you're a guy, had corona and it's exited your system and it's proven, you're the hottest catch in town.
Yeah, your Raya's popping.
Oh my God, you could go to,
It's better than being rich.
You could be like, yo,
it's literally better
yes.
than being rich.
You could be like, yo, do you need some frickin' quarantine loving?
Yeah.
I will show up.
Yeah.
Because they've also even talked about, like, in the future, needing some sort of, like we joke about verification, but some sort of verification of if you had it and recovered or had been vaccinated or none. Because that's how serious the difference is of how it could affect you when you do get back to traveling. So if you're saying, hey, I already have it, I built up the antibodies, you have like a certain level of like, all right, go do your thing.
Yeah, that's the problem with being asymptomatic. Like, let's assume that we've all been exposed.
Yeah.
Maybe one of us have caught, at least one of us in here has had it, right?
I hope so. I hope it's me. I'm just saying, if I had it, because I had a sniffly nose a while back. If I had it and am recovered right now.
Wow.
What? Absolutely. Are you kidding me?
Being a pussy is not a symptom.
Ask frickin' Donovan Mitchell. He doesn't feel anything.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell was fine all 14 days
He
of
feels
quarantine.
nothing. My point is, they also can, just not readily available, test you for antibodies. So you'll be able to get tested to see if you had it,
Right.
and you're recovered. So like if that test becomes available, I'm gonna go get it just to see. Because man, if you find out like in June that you had it and you have antibodies, you're
Yeah,
good.
I guess the only risk there is the tests right now are being rushed out so quickly that the effectiveness you can't 100% trust it.
Yep.
So you could get an antibody test that's saying you had it, you're negative now, blah blah blah, and it was actually wrong, and then you go start partying,
True.
and you're dead.
Totally true. Because there's also what's happening right now is people are testing and showing negative, like they're recovered, and then testing again and showing positive.
Right.
And so like, oh my God, it came back. But what they're saying is it's actually just probably shitty tests.
Right.
You know? But yeah, give me those antibodies, man. Okay. Let's talk about some business news. Macy's is booted from the S&P 500.
This is actually kind of sad.
Okay.
So S&P 500 or, your 500 large cap companies that kind of, depict American industry. And they are getting kicked out to the small cap index. And they're literally being replaced by an air conditioning company.
I love it.
Carrier Global.
I love it.
It's just sad.
It's not sad to me because in our almost 2 decades of being in this apparel business, Macy's is the most predatory retailer, period.
Okay, fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them.
I don't care. They were terrible to vendors since we've been in the apparel
I
business.
mean, it's a known fact in the apparel business. Whenever you say Macy's, it's like, oh, be careful.
Right.
Because they will tank your whole company.
My guess is Macy's, as we know it, I would say Macy's, Sears, JCPenney, Kmart. I wouldn't say Kohl's because I feel like they're a little bit savvier. that group of retailers is like now on life support, and I don't see. They're going to obviously have to close a lot of stores, but essentially, I hope no private equity company buys these piles of shit and tries to figure it out. Because guess what? Now the real estate is not valuable.
Right, because you can't repurpose that many stores. It's just not possible.
Yeah,
Macy's, to me, what they do to apparel businesses is no different than like predatory lending, making people take loans that they never really should have been taking, and then they go bankrupt. That's what they did to apparel companies.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad for people that when times were good, you were super heavy-handed.
Yeah.
And used it as leverage to fuck people. If they didn't work well for you, you're fucked. And they were, if everyone did that and that was just status quo, I'd understand. They were uniquely bad.
Yeah.
So you know what? Fuck you.
And just so listeners who aren't in the apparel business, just to 30-second quickly explain what we're talking about. This is what Macy's does every year. Let's say they buy $1 million worth of your goods in the calendar year of 2019. What they do in 2020 January say, hey, to get the next order, we need a $300,000 discount on the next $1 million. Mm-hmm. And it's this vicious cycle that you get in. Yeah. And if you don't do it, you don't get the order, but you've already placed the inventory buy, and if you don't sell it to them, you're screwed because there's nowhere else to sell that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, what they're trying to do is protect their margin. Macy's essentially is not a retailer; they're a real estate company, and they're leasing you the space. And so they want to make this much money on the space, and so they protect their margin at all costs. So if they buy something from you for $10 and they sell it for $5, and their margin expectation is 40%, they're going to get their 40% out of you no matter what. It's despite the fact that they aren't able to sell it at full price or even a discounted price.
And here's the thing: when let's just say 2000 whatever, to be really dramatic, I'll say 2006. Macy's could make your whole business. Like, of course, you're going to take that opportunity.
Yeah.
And it means so much. It could make your brand. But they were using that power, in my opinion, to completely screw and literally bankrupt companies.
Yeah.
So now the tides have changed, and you can go fuck yourself right off the S&P 500.
Yeah, love it.
All right, why don't you take all that space and make them freaking hospitals?
All right.
Assholes. Okay. What's going on with Altria? This Altria $12.8 billion investment in Juul. They're trying to unwind it?
Yeah, so their FTC is suing, saying that it's not competitively fair for Altria to be an owner of the Juul business. Mm-hmm. And so they're trying to unwind it. The problem is Juul has spent all the money. So if they unwind it, Altria has to get their money back. So either Tiger Global or any of those big companies that have invested in it has to buy out Altria, or this is just like smoke and mirrors and nothing actually is going to happen. Or my theory is Altria probably has the biggest lobby in like a defense company in DC, and they're like, hey, can you guys put a lot of pressure so we can get our money back because this is a donut investment?
Yeah, so logistically, I don't even know if it's possible, because part of the Altria investment was automatic. If you were a Juul shareholder, you were forced to sell 1/3 of your stake. Mm-hmm. So that's individuals.
That money's
that's
gone.
funds. That money's gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're not going to get it from a Juul shareholder that already took the third forced dividend.
Yeah. Here's the story that I heard. I heard that Altria's money is from tobacco, right? And Juul is like this other, it's vaping nicotine, right? I heard that Altria has, their version of vaping is a tobacco-based vaping that they were going to pitch as, a healthy alternative to smoking. It's still rooted in tobacco, so still great for their business. I heard that they bought into Juul with the hopes of tanking it because it was competition. So
it was just like a $12 billion fine.
Yes, and if you can light that on fire and burn vaping and then announce your new tobacco vaping that's healthier and blah, 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 you win in the long term. Mm-hmm. So if that is true, then this is just expediting that whole process, and you're just going to yank your 12.8 back. You're going to bankrupt your competition. You're going to put out your product, and you're in a great spot.
Okay. I like it.
Yep. We kind of saw that, 6 months ago we were talking about that, but that's what I heard.
Okay.
Okay, next up, D, I want to ask you about this because you're in the coffee business now.
Yes.
Hopefully you're being honest about your numbers.
Very honest.
You know, I could see I was trying to kind of bait you into saying that it sold out. I noticed you didn't take the bait.
No, because I'm an honest businessman.
You are.
That waves to people while you run.
Yes.
Yep. So we're going to talk about a company that isn't. Luckin Coffee. Their COO completely fabricated their sales, and stock is tanking, and it's a mess.
I mean, they're fabricated by hundreds of millions. They had a market cap of like $7 billion, got 80% of it wiped out in one day. This is the problem with China. There was always this question when Alibaba went public, because they were like the first mega company to go public out of China, that are these numbers even real? Can we even trust them? Mm-hmm. And fucking coffee here is lying. And this is the problem. It's like we don't believe the death numbers, and we can't even believe the amount of coffee you sold. Everything, it's like they're literally just propping up fake data, fake numbers, fake everything. And I mean, it's a disaster. You can't, unfortunately, trust anything coming out of this country.
What's crazy is in the era of technology where, in theory, we should have more transparency to numbers and data. All we're realizing is everything was fake all along.
Yeah. It was like normal days.
Yeah. Let's go back to the 90s where you just lie about everything and no one cares and everyone keeps making money.
I mean, it was fake 3 days ago when the president was saying we have this under control and it's going to miraculously disappear at any moment. It just...
Everything was always fake, and it was probably much faker back then.
Yeah. Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine before anyone could just write a story about anything? It was probably
imagine
insane.
Like publicly traded companies that were filing. I mean, how many Enrons were there?
Oh yeah, especially these Chinese ones.
I mean, it sounds like the entire U.S. government is Enron.
Yeah,
because you just
Chinese
make
too.
up debt and burn it.
Yeah, I mean, but these Chinese publicly traded companies are scary.
Yeah. Okay, that is it, guys.
Yeah.
So it's time for the big segment of the week that everyone looks forward to. Everyone calls me, texts me, DMs me throughout the week and says, who's your winner going to be? What's your content going to be? Please tell us now. I say I can't. You got to wait till Friday. Here we are.
Okay, my winner?
Yep.
Which I thought was a terrible product,
Okay.
but it's become the most popular thing, is IG Live.
Yep.
I think...
It wasn't, it wasn't a terrible product, but it wasn't being used.
It wasn't being used, and frankly, like, even just as an avid IG Live watcher, there's a lot of flaws in the product. The fact that I can't use the platform and stay live is so annoying.
Yep.
Yes.
Like, I need to have two phones on to even, it's like, I don't understand. I see people watching IG Live and tweeting. I'm like, what kind of control room do you have in your house?
Yeah.
So many people all these IG Lives are trending on Twitter. Are you going back and forth, or do you have like five screens popping?
That's definitely phone and laptop,
I
right?
think it's a phone, laptop. They have their text messages on their iMessage on the laptop, and then their Instagram.
I want to see IG Live on my TV.
Yes.
I want to be able to use IG Live, not only on your TV, how AirPlay.
Well, yeah.
No, but I just want it as like an Apple TV section.
Yeah, and then also you should be able to navigate through your entire phone, not just Instagram.
Yeah, agree.
I want to send text messages. And then I want to see what Tory Lanez is up to. Oh, Drake called in. Let me text Anand and let him know. I know he loves Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was having a lot because I don't have that kind of setup. I'm pretty much a phone guy at the apartment.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to watch the IG Lives with DJs, and then people
you're
are texting about it, and I have to go out of it. I'm like, fuck, I was watching.
Yeah, it's fucked up. I think they need to hurry up and do that because I think they couldn't expect for IG Live to be the new, TV. And so I would like to think that they're trying to figure that out.
Yeah,
because it's a
I can't
huge
wait till the
opportunity.
ad products start launching mid IG Live. This episode is brought to you by Menlo Club.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, that's a good one.
Well, speaking of IG Live, we're going to go live after this. So if you don't tune in, we'll post it to our story. Make sure you go watch it. I don't know if you guys want to preface who we're talking to.
A childhood friend of ours, really close family friend, his name's Hari. He is a thoracic surgeon at Sloan Kettering in New York City. He is doing rounds at many of the hospitals that are plagued with corona, and his patients are predominantly like lung patients.
Yeah, thoracic surgeon is a lung surgeon.
He's part of the reason why I stopped with the Juul.
Yeah.
because we had dinner with him in New York. That's the same
Yeah,
guy, right?
yeah, yeah.
And he was like, "Yo, it's super bad." And I was like, "Fuck, I can't really, I can't wiggle my way out of this one."
Yeah, so we're gonna go live with him right now, and then we're gonna share it. But I think it's gonna be super interesting. I've been texting him every single day on behalf of a friend.
It's scary.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, you don't want to know the truth.
Turns out it's not the flu.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, on and go.
Anand, who's your winner?
MBS,
Oh,
the
wow.
Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
This is why. In a calendar year, he killed an American journalist.
Nice.
He locked up all his cousins.
Great.
He jailed his
Uncle?
uncle. He created the oil market.
Yeah, he did.
And Donald Trump just tweeted this morning, just spoke to my friend, MBS, Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, and went on to talk about oil.
Great
but
guy.
he has the full faith of the United States government behind him.
Look at that.
That's
It's a
great.
big winner.
Why not? I mean, what did he do wrong? You know?
Nothing.
You tell me where he went wrong in Trump's eyes.
No.
That journalist shouldn't have been talking shit. You know what I mean?
He's unstoppable.
I mean, can you imagine if Trump could get away with killing journalists?
And this guy's only 34. He did all that by the age of 34. What's
Yeah.
he going to do the next 50
Yeah, what do you do
years?
with your life?
Yeah, he's like Corona, where it's like, we're 2 weeks in. You know what I mean? This is nothing. Okay. Yeah, good one. Mine is Governor Cuomo. Not even really on some political stuff. I just think that I wouldn't even care what he was, Democrat or Republican. It's the fact that he has been handed a terrible set of cards. I will say they didn't react quick enough with their shutdown, so there is some fault there. It's just true with how bad it is. But, it's New York City. What could you expect? Got handed a terrible set of cards. And just to me, the way that he's been handling it has been a really good combination of likable, even funny at times, and also serious. Seems like a great guy. I think he should really just run for president starting now. Also, Chris Cuomo from CNN, his brother, got coronavirus. So now there's all these moments happening, like these touching moments. My brother has it. I can't say my brother.
Yeah.
My brother's in the basement.
Yeah.
Whatever. So just really good TV going on there.
Yeah, that is, the Cuomos are hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, in national landscape, he went from political obscurity to now people are calling for him to run for president in 6 months.
100%.
That's
Crazy.
the beauty of politics.
I mean, could we just talk for 2 seconds about the fact that Joe Biden has no fucking shot, and the fact that Democrats got behind him and put him, however the fuck that worked behind the scenes, he's the guy. We are fucked.
Yeah,
so we might as well just.
That interview
Trump's
on
back.
CNN where he's like, fumbling around for papers. He's not fit to be president.
You're done.
Sleepy Joe needs a nap.
He's done, man.
He should just go to sleep and he should not campaign.
But talk
He
about.
might win if he does not campaign.
Yeah, if he does not show his face till November and the people just see a name other than Trump,
Yeah.
he has a shot.
That's the best thing he could do. Literally on the ballot, if it could say not Trump,
Yeah.
it's the best thing he could do.
Yeah.
Boom.
I just, man, it blows my mind that Obama, all these people, you know how important this is.
Yeah.
And this is, we always talked about who's even appetizing. Elizabeth Warren seems a little crazy, this, that, whatever.
Right.
Here we are now coming down the final stretch, and this fucking guy is the guy.
Joke.
Unreal.
We need Cuomo in there. Okay. Losers. D, who's the loser?
My loser is Sam Gores, who owns and operates Paradigm Talent Agency.
Okay. Seems like you're doing some, sketchy, this is LA industry.
Yeah.
You're ruffling feathers here.
And, when you're a powerful person like him, you do some questionable things along the way.
Of course.
So, I'm not mad at you. I understand. You're a scumbag. You can do what you want to do.
Yep.
The problem is when you fire 200 people, it all comes out.
Uh-oh, ruffling feathers.
So 2 weeks ago, because of Corona, he started hacking people. And he hacked a woman who said she's owed $2 million or millions of dollars or was promised $2 million. I forgot the exact detail. She went on to say how people were mistreated in the company, how she was mistreated, how she was mistreated as an agent. And then she was like, oh, by the way, this guy was getting hookers. This guy was doing this. This guy just threw everybody under the bus.
Yep.
And so you're going to see a lot of this because there are going to be a lot of layoffs and there's going to be a lot of firings and angry employees are just going to burn the house down.
If you
on
have
the way out.
skeletons in your closet, do not be firing people. Especially if you're rich and you can afford to keep all these
Yeah,
people.
like
It's like, what are you risking it for?
especially a questionable person that clearly was owed money.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you what, in being that the general rule of life is rich people are immune to pretty much everything, coronavirus is not good for rich people.
No.
Because almost no matter what business you're in trouble. Also, you were probably a traveler, you're probably around a lot of people, you're just as likely to get it. No treatment, so you're going to pretty much get it the same way everyone else gets it. It's not good.
Yep.
No.
Usually the rich are exempt, not here. Anand, what do you got?
There's so many to pick.
Yeah.
But I'm going to pick something that's near and dear to me. The domestic box office movie theater numbers.
Oh boy, you do love a movie.
Yeah.
Shit, you love the Grove in a movie.
The
man.
Grove in the movie theater, what I love to do, and I can't do either. So year over year, March 20th to March 26th, $204 million last year. We brought in $5,000 last week.
Who went to the theater?
$5,000.
Who are those people?
I mean, in Florida probably, right?
Yeah.
Florida, yeah, they're probably
That's like 2 theaters in Florida that are still open. That's
Oh
amazing.
my God.
204 million to 5,000. An entire industry just evaporated.
Yeah. Yeah, movie business is rough.
Yeah, you know who's going to get paid less? Actors, agents, producers, directors.
Yeah.
This is going to have such a trickle effect.
And on LA.
Yeah,
On LA.
yeah, and catering companies that provide to these movie sets. Think about all the different people. Security on movie sets.
Think about a makeup artist.
Right.
Yeah.
Special sound effects, who were minting money the last couple years.
Yep.
Okay.
Effed.
I gave mine up because it was Mardi Gras in Louisiana, but I'm just going to say it's leadership as a whole. I think one thing that this is really exposing is just the terrible leadership from China, from these different governors, from Trump. This is something that aggressive, great leadership would have pumped the brakes on quite a bit. And the same way it's exposing good old Sam Gorez. It's exposing, if you're a bad leader, you're exposed.
Yeah, agree.
So bad time for leaders. A lot of good lessons to learn.
Absolutely.
Content recommendations?
Mine is there's a documentary on HBO called The Scheme.
Okay.
It's about the college basketball scandals.
Oh, yes.
Chris Dawkins is the young man in it, and how the FBI infiltrated him to turn on Rick Pitino and all these people. It is unbelievable.
And Sean Miller, the University of Arizona coach.
Yes.
And then the
Andy Miller,
not Sean Miller, yeah.
he's the sports agent.
And
watched
someone, Wade. Who's Wade?
Merlin Wade, I think his name was.
Yeah.
Merrill Wade.
Yeah.
He was like a college basketball. It just shows it's no secret. Everyone knew collegiate sports are corrupt. It's just funny how blatant it was. And this young kid, 23 years old, is he's such a boss, but he gets caught. He turns on everyone.
You
and how
watched
the
it,
FBI is what?
You watched it?
Yeah, I watched it last night. It's unbelievable. If you like college sports, if you like sports, it's unbelievable.
I got to watch it.
Okay.
My content, we talked about a little earlier. Pop in on IG Live. There's some great stuff going on IG Live. Yesterday, Scott Storch and Manny Fresh had a battle of songs that they produced, and Storch just crushed them. I can't believe the number of hits that guy had.
Yeah.
They were going rap, 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 and then he hit him with Crimea River, Justin Timberlake, and I was like, holy hell, he did that too.
Yeah, it was so good. There was 180,000 people watching live. Those two go at it.
And he was doing the keys to the songs. Dude, that guy is so talented. He has to have a comeback, right?
Yeah, this might do it. Because now everyone's like, oh, wow, Scott Storch is actually really popping.
Yeah.
I mean, even Zach Bia went live and he premiered a Drake song.
Yep.
Drake was in the chat with Kylie and everyone, and they premiered the song there.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's insane.
IG Live is great right now, and tune in. Who knows what we're going to see in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Mine is Ozark. So it was last week was Ozark 2, but it hadn't come out yet. I watched it. Incredible. I don't feel like it's getting any hype though. I feel like
What are you talking about? Everyone's talking about
are
it.
they?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm not hearing it. All I'm hearing is Tiger
I'm trying
King.
to save it because we're going to run out of stuff to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been pacing the good stuff.
It's good because it's one of those shows that you want to binge too.
Yeah.
So save it as long as you can. But hell of a show.
Okay, great.
That's it, guys. If you want some more entertainment during this time, check out our newsletter, group-chat.com. Hit us up on Instagram at groupchatpod. We're going live.
We're live right now.
Oh, hey.
And
Say hi to the people.
we're going to really try to, take advantage of this live stuff. We're going to do some live things. So make sure you follow us. Make sure you engage. And, stay safe. Wear your mask. Stay the fuck at home. Don't be like Florida.
And if you feel like shopping, go get that coffee. Go buy those clothes. Go get those shoes.
There you fucking go, man. We didn't do ads because
It's fine.
no one's
Everybody got
got
a
any
kick out of it. So we'll come out hot
Yeah.
Monday.
money. Yeah, we'll do it Monday. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, guys. We'll see you on Monday.